speaking of deterrence, the government obviously now have no deterrent or no reason to deter the invasion of boats coming across the channel, right? And they say they're going to, but they never will because it's in their political interest not to. What is the biggest thing about this, however, is that people think that these are genuine refugees. As I've said before, I don't see how people don't see through the propaganda campaign at this point. They think they are genuine refugees seeking asylum, and they are not. They are not. This is being facilitated from very, very high up. Very, very high up by very evil institutions. Global institutions like Blackrock and Blackrock is who we're going to be coming on to in a moment, like the UN, World Economic Forum, that come up time and time again, the EU, but then the subsidiaries that they work through and the very, big companies that not only in this instance, they're buying up land in the UK like there's no tomorrow. They're buying up properties to shove these migrants into, to deliberately destabilize our countries and our royal family. The government are all too keen to go along with it because likely they're getting kickbacks from these massive companies as well, like BlackRock, State Street. Who's the other one? I think it was Lockheed Martin, one of them, the big military contractors and stuff like that. But BlackRock, as Andrew Bridgen has just come out with, this video was posted this morning. He posted another video, which I'll refer back to now as well, of the boats being recycled and sent back to France. This shows how complicit our governments are. But what it is coming from is big corporations who are subservient to these globalist entities like BlackRock, via contract with the UK Home Office, facilitating this invasion of our countries. Here is that video for you now, ladies and gentlemen, which Mr. Bridgen will explain.
You may have heard we've got this sort of dinghy invasion across the channel.
Yeah, I just look at that.
We're getting 800 a day.
There was an old batch. Yeah, hang on. I have to go back because there's someone coming. There was a whole batch of dinghies. Hey, this lorry is getting on a ferry. So the dinghies come into Dover, they get loaded onto a truck, they go back to France.
And he sent that, he notified GB News in the UK and Nigel Farage that he offered them the clip, which they didn't come back to him, that the lorry in question that's moving the dinghies across the channel from Dover is operated by a company called GXO. That's a company owned by BlackRock, one of the biggest logistics companies in Europe. And it was under contract to the Home Office, the government in the UK at the time. You may have heard we've got this.
Yeah, GXO is a massive company. GXO is a massive company. They service pretty much a lot of the companies within the UK. I know that I think, pardon me, a lot of places like Costa Coffee and places like that have a lot of deliveries from GXO, people like that. They're absolutely massive. This is what you're seeing now, corporations who are subservient to more corporations because they're owned by these big corporations, mega corporations like BlackRock and places like that, who are trying to facilitate this invasion and are recycling the dinghies and sending them back to France. As he said, this was reported to GB News and Nigel Farage directly. None of them wanted to know. This was apparently reported to GB News back in 2023. The guy sent this, possibly even earlier than that, 2022, if I'm judging by the comments on this post. So this now, ladies and gentlemen, you saw a little bit of it in that clip. You saw a little bit of the footage in that clip. This is the footage that was there of the dinghies that were just sent back to France. So they say smash the gangs. Why is it that we are smashing the gangs, quote unquote, yet we're sending the dinghies back to France to be used again by more of these invaders? And it does seem, as I said before, the GB News and Nigel Farage didn't want to know. You had other prominent figures, which say what you want about them for their politics and for their rhetoric and for their outlook on things. People like Steve Laws and Active Patriot and people like that were out doing this long before anyone else. They were down at Dover, for example, documenting these boats coming over long before Nigel Farage went out there and was doing his publicity stunts with the Jet 2 music and stuff like that. And just goes to show, especially with the decisions that Reform have made at the moment, since the election collapsed for them basically last year, when obviously Labour got in, that we should be very, very suspicious of them, that they seem to have turned the establishment corner, and that's where they seem to be going, which is very, very sad to see. But here's that footage for you now, ladies and gentlemen. It just seems that they'll only care when there's a political, initiative to be made from it. Same thing with the grooming gang inquiry that Nigel Farage was saying that he was going to fund and never did.
So last night, I noticed there was an old back. Yeah, hang on. I have to go back because there's someone coming. There was a whole batch of dinghies in the little area near the crane in the boatyard. Loads of them, all numbered. You'll have just seen that clip, hopefully. And I thought, OK, tomorrow the lorry's probably going to come. And guess what? There it is. So we're going to go over there and just see if it's the same truck. All right, today we're going to try and follow it.
Disgusting. Disgusting. So I'll just see if I can take it forward a little bit now. So they actually do in the video, they actually follow the lorry. Guy's committed. He's just cycling. He's just cycling along, on his bike. And here we go. So this is where they have followed the lorry to its destination. And as you just saw in the clip, this is where they see it being loaded onto the ferry.
Okay. All right, that's it. Boom. Okay, I'm inside. I saw the lorry. It was just the other side of that fence. I'm now going to drive round. Now, what is it doing? Hiding there. There it is. There it is. RX-68, there's the driver in it, so he's going to see me doing this. And I don't care. There's the number plate. RX-68, YKA. This lorry is getting on a ferry. So the dinghies come into Dover, they get loaded onto a truck, they go back to France.
So the dinghies come into Dover, they get loaded onto a truck, they go back to France. It is an extremely well-funded, well-organised invasion operation, because these people, they're not coming here to contribute to our society. They're coming here to enrich themselves off the benefits, likely send a lot of them back home, and to leech off of the British taxpayer, which they say time and time again they're going to bring their dependents. You have the iconic clip from Patrick Christie's talking to the guy over in Calais, who says, the British have everything, they give me everything I need, gives me. It's literally the only, coherent sentence, or only sentence at all he's able to articulate. Right, these are the supposed brain surgeons and stuff like that we're being told are coming over. But a British reporter also went over and spoke with a couple of Yemeni migrants who were waiting in France to cross the channel. Apparently, he says, in France, people stop and deport us. The British police, however, accept us. I have a family of 5 in Yemen. I will bring them to England too. I have a family of 5 in Yemen. I will bring them to England too.
England and not Français.
Police France, no stop, exit.
And England police.
No problem.
Are you going to England on a vehicle, lorry?
تروح بريطانيا بسيارة وقارب.
Yes, this car.
Car.
Yes.
Car.
Okay. And where are you from?
Yemen.
From Yemen.
Yemen.
Yes.
Do you have family?
Yes. Family.
Where are they? London?
Family of Yemen, and then after England.
Come to England.
Yes.
So you, England first,
Yes.
and then family.
Yes.
Is this your son?
No, my friend.
Friend?
Yes.
Okay.
In England عشان English.
English?
Yes. أريد أتعلم الإنجليزي.
School, English.
You can learn English at school.
Yes.
So remember in your school age, Gemma, the one thing that the school system did teach us, it was in maths. They didn't teach us much about bills and taxes and any of this stuff, right? However, one thing they did teach us in maths in particular was something known as the order of operations. And why is this relevant? It isn't particularly relevant, but it goes by a couple of names. If you were in school, when I was in school, and in the school that I was in, it was called BODMAS, BODMAS, stands for brackets, odds, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. That's what it stands for. Basically, if you have a sum involving many different mathematical operators, pluses, fractions, brackets, also known as parentheses. So that's why you may sometimes see it called PEMDAS, I believe some people others call it. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. It gives you the correct way to do things in terms of mathematical operations. Now, let's apply an order of operations to people fleeing war zones. Let's apply an order of operations to people fleeing war zones. What tends to happen, let's say a bomb is going to be dropped, or a bomb is dropped, your country's at war. Who do you send away first? Who do you send away from the war zone first? You'd think first off would be children. First off would be children. And then next on the list after that would and children and pregnant women, you sort of group in together. So obviously pregnant woman is carrying a child. Then you would have the women. Usually they would go with the children, right? That's where you get, women and children first, right? But mothers will give their lives up for their children if the time has come to it. If they're virtuous and good, right? And then and only then, should the battle be all but a losing battle, there's no way to win it. Then you would retreat as a man. It's your duty to stay there and fight. It's your duty to stay there and fight. So that's the order of operations. So why is it that when we're being told that these refugee asylum seekers, all of these things, right, they've trekked all across Europe to get here and they've had a hard journey and all stuff like that, despite the fact that every country they've come through after getting out of their home country when they got into Europe is perfectly safe for the most part, usually even more so for them because they've been colonized by people like them. But the order of operations is all wrong. They're doing the sum all wrong. These are not... Okay, the one guy in this clip seems to be quite young. Maybe, what is he, mid to late teens, maybe? But again, a young man. A young man, it seems like. You have the older man, presumably the guy's father, and you have a young man. If they are fleeing persecution or whatever it is, why are they not staying there and fighting? Why did they not send their women and children away first? Why is it that his family of 5 back in Yemen, he's going to bring them to England? Why did he, if they were genuinely fleeing anything, why did he not send them first? Yeah, you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? That's the sound of a narrative falling apart. That's the sound of a narrative falling apart right there. So that's what they want you to believe, that these people in many instances, you can say that they're coming here seeking a better life or whatever. That shouldn't come at the expense of our own people's life in their homeland. That shouldn't come at the expense of our own people's life in our homeland. Whether you realize it or not, when they get here, your democratic freedoms are being eroded. And it's all happening by design. At least maybe now you can see that the order of operations is all off.